Hey, Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Oh, I hit my AO too soon. Ayo. When I was doing my little intro there. You see, that's some of the behind-the-scenes stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. That's how much I care about you as an audience out there, that I do my little intro live each and every time. It's not pre-recorded. Ayo. So if I hit a wrong button like I did there, sometimes you might get the AO a little sooner than we want the AO, but the AO, where is it? AO. There we go. Hey, hello and welcome, and a happy Tuesday to you. It is a happy Tuesday, isn't it? I feel pretty good today, I have to say, overall, all things considering, the way our crazy topsy-turvy world is going round and round, round and round. Remember that song? It was by Rat, right? Goes around, please, what is going on? Let me just, maybe I was complaining before that my computer keeps, locking up on me. And maybe that's what we need to happen here. Just save myself before I even start. Hey-o. So hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo, where of course we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And of course we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. I did something different here today. I can't, because when I look at the screen, my head turns, so I can't. But I don't know why I'm saying this. Like, I don't even know why I get into this kind of crap. I just start talking. You know why? Let me start by saying this. First of all, I'm Pete Palma. If you haven't been here before, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. My brain is like just scattered random thoughts all over the place, and I tend to just kind of go in all multiple directions of conversation. But I try to keep it focused on a topic, and we do have a topic today, which I am going to talk about. But for whatever reason, I'm deciding to go into the behind-the-scenes stuff. And, I have one of those. They all use them, the YouTubers, the lights, with the circle light that you put your phone. I don't use my phone to record this. I actually have a camera, but I do have one of those lights. And, when I switched, my gosh, why am I going into this whole story? I had switched my light. These lights behind me used to be up over here, and they would kind of be a little distracting. So I moved them back here, but then in front of me was a little bit dark. So I put up the other light, which was like right here in front of me. And every time I would talk, like you could see the circle like in my glasses, and I'm thinking like, the audience probably doesn't mind, but I mind, and it bothers me. So I actually moved this light off to the side today, and it seems so far so good. I can't. Can you tell me, because I can't see until I watch it back. I'm not going to see if the reflection of the circle. I'm sure if I look over here, you probably could see it, right? You see it now, like that. It's over here. I guess the danger of wearing glasses. I guess it's you can see everything that's out. The reflections and such. All right. So anyway. How are we doing out there? Today is the 27th of June in the good year 2023. And today's episode is entitled So Slow the Humans Go. Yes, they do. And first and foremost, if you are new here, thank you. And it is a place of togetherness and oneness overall. We talk about things. We might say things in certain ways. Nothing is meant to be offensive or intrusive or, obtuse or obstinate. I don't know, whatever words I'm looking for. It's really just a expression of thought. I really always said I should call this the live stream. This is not a live stream. It's the live stream of consciousness, because it's like just my stream of consciousness, and I'm going live. So I think some people sometimes they tell me like, they're just surprised I just talk like that, like just go on and just talk the way I talk, without really, I don't really have notes or, I pretty much just a faint blip of an idea in my head, and I'm able to do this. And it's probably why my radio career was so unsuccessful, because it's basically the same thing. Maybe people want to actually hear something of some substance. Maybe they want to point. Maybe they don't like somebody just rambling for 20 minutes. I really don't know. I like rambling though. Heyo. It gets me excited. I start rambling. My heart starts beating. And I just feel the moment I'm with the people. It's you and me. I'm the people. You're the people. We're the people. It's all about people. And that's it. And you just kind of go, heartbeat 1, 2, 3, 4. You see what I'm saying? And you just kind of get into that groove, and you just feel really good. And that's kind of like what this show is. I don't know. So slow the humans go. Talking about, and yeah, I did mention for the new people, there's a place of love and togetherness and all that. But the truth is, it's really just a place for you to have a space to kind of let your hair down. I let my hair down a long time ago, as you can see, and I've been very happy for it ever since. But it's a place where you know, can find solace and know that there's other people out there, or at least there's one, me, that does not take this life all too seriously. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, you know, a lot of what we have to do in our everyday world doesn't make sense. So we just like to explore some of those type of ideas and think about, you know, what kind of futures can we create, you know, within the circumstances of the world as it is. You know, it's this is the 3D paradigm. It's a Earth school. We are manifestors. We are creators, and every entity here, you know, basically is here for its own soul mission. So there's a lot of all different kinds of levels and things that go on in the physicality to support what the soul needs to learn, and that's why things seem to always be so chaotic. You know, it's not going to be like the Borg on Star Trek where everybody's plugged in and you must assimilate. Well, they want us to assimilate, but we won't assimilate, will we? You know, but at the end of the day, you know, again, we're back at the end of the day and the beginning of the next. Basically, that's what am I saying there? That's, you know, it's never going to be like this picture perfect, you know, living in harmony, utopia, whatever, right? There's always going to have to be, you know, it's the whole, that's the point of why we're here. There has to be this yin and yang and, you know, this, you know, whatever you want to say, duality, basically, so that we can learn to detach and go back to source and all that type of thing. So today we're just talking about so slow the humans go, because I was thinking about this yesterday, actually, in regard of how interesting it seems that the way our life goes. What the hell was I just saying? I'm sorry, I got distracted by my phone. I'm so bad. I'm you know, when you see the squirrel, you know, and it just like it's doing something, it sees you and it, like, you know, flies up through the air to run up the tree, you know, and that kind of thing. That's like me, you know. It's just like my brain's here, and then I see something like, ooh, my phone went off. Let me look, you know. I should turn. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn my phone upside down so I don't even see anything that pops up. This way, it keeps me in a straight place. So as I've been progressing through these past couple years. I mean, again, the awakening during the fake pandemic was really the catalyst for everything, for the way the track that humanity is on now. You know, I believe you know, that fake pandemic was the way to get everybody kind of, you know, jump started into this new way of thinking and this new consciousness and all that. I'm realizing that we've been, you know, socioeconomic slaves for all these years, and how suppressed we are and how much truth they keep from us. And it's not about politics and, you know, who's good, bad, right, or wrong. It's just a matter of what is, right? We've been kind of lulled into this sleep for a very long time, generations. So it's not like pointing the fingers like you're a dope or anything, because nobody's a dope. Well, you know, some people are a little more so than others, but that's my own personal problem to deal with. But seriously, since things have been going on since the time that COVID came about, you know, a lot of people have been changing their lives, obviously, and doing different things and seeing the world in a different way. And even for me, myself, you know, I realized and I started doing different things. And as I've gone through this process, you know, since the realization, you know, back in, you know, March of 2020, when they first did the lockdowns, that's when it all kind of hit me, you know, that we're under attack and all that type of thing. And it's time to really get engaged and, you know, live life in a certain way. Otherwise, you're just going to be a slave for the rest of your life, right? So, and then I started, obviously, I moved and did all these things I'm doing. And as I see the future, in a sense, or, you know, in my mind, you know, of what, you know, I'm trying to build and what I would like to see come to fruition and such, this thought came to my mind of so slow the humans go, because everything takes all that time to build. You can sit here today and have a thought of, like, you know, what you want to do for a job, or let's just pick one thing. Like, it's not like changing everything. Let's just go with, like, say, a job. Say you've always worked a normal job and, you know, you really want to start your own business or something to that effect, or, you know, whatever, a YouTube channel. You could be just as successful as me. But anyway, and you know, you have the idea, right? Like that little germination of the idea, and it's not like it doesn't go from idea to completion until the time it takes to do it through the physical means. But within the realm of the thought, it's already kind of done, right? I mean, yeah, it's one of the things they talk about the most as far as like whatever you want to accomplish in your life. If you want to build a business, if you want to have a spouse, if you want to whatever, if you want a nice car, I don't know, whatever nonsense, whatever you want, you know? But the idea of acquiring these types of things in your life is not having the mindset to say, oh, I'd like to have that one day, or one day this, or if this, then that, or all that type of stuff. It's basically you actually, I know this sounds like, you know, kind of maybe it sounds like a crazy concept, but you have to be able to feel what it is to have it before you can get it, in a sense. You know, the only way, I mean, that's how the universe works. You know, it only gives you with the energy you're aligning with. So if you're sitting there saying, one day, you know, I'm going to have my dream job, or whatever the case may be. So one day I'm going to have my dream job, you know? So that's the thought you're putting out to the universe. So the universe is saying, okay, one day you'll have your dream job, and then the one day, and then it's always one day. Instead of saying I have, you know, my dream job, right? If you look at it from that perspective and you feel it within your soul, like you feel what it feels like to have it. Like, you know, if you want the perfect partner, you know, a lot of people have talked about this, you know, you don't, you know, like that's why I never am down with like the going online and searching people out and all that kind of crap for relationships, because, you know, I look at it this way, you know, you see what you want, in a sense, or feel what you want. What would a perfect partner be to you? What would a perfect job be to you? How would you feel, you know, in your soul, in your heart, you know, if you had that whatever, right? You know, and you just kind of just feel that. And then the universe presents it to you, because you have to remember that this world is not real, right? We are manifestors, we are creators. So the universe is going to create and bring into your life the way you thought. So if you're thinking in a way of lack, then you'll have lack. And if you're thinking in a way of abundance, you'll have abundance. But it's not just like saying it, right? I mean, that's the thing too. It's like you have to really believe it. You know, you have to believe it like in your soul. You know, you have to feel it, like not like just pretending, you know, but you actually feel what it feels like. You know, think about, say, again, going back to the job, what would it feel like if you got that dream job and you were doing X, Y, or Z, what you wanted to do? What would that feel like in here, like every day? If you can imagine it, right? And you could feel it, like you literally can, because there is no time and space like the way we're taught. You know, it really is all here. So, you know, when you're thinking from these ways, it brings those things into fruition into your life. But at the same time, and more so to the point of like what I'm talking about today, is just the interesting dynamic of how you think things and the time it takes for those things to manifest. You know, a good example is, well, I'll just give an example, my own personal example, because I have talked about this here before, that I do real estate here in Florida as well as my day job. And, you know, I have all these ideas for how I see that going. And I feel it, right? Like I feel excited about, oh, yeah, I'm going to make this happen. And, you know, just things that I'm working on. And but then I realize, like, you know, okay, I have these projected plans of how I want to move forward with certain aspects of things. But it's just because I think it and, you know, feel it, even though I'm telling you that part, which is great. But it's still, you know, from the physical human level, just like, you know, planting a seed, you know, into the dirt, as it were. It takes time for it to, you know, grow, sprout out of the ground, and then become the beautiful flower or tree or whatever it's going to become. But, you know, it takes that time. You don't just say, I want a flower, and then there's the flower, right? You got to plant the seed. The flower's got to grow. It's got to bloom. So, you know, and that's like kind of what happens in our lives, the same type of thing, right? We kind of have ideas of what we want to do. We take steps towards them, you know, actionable steps, you know, make your action item list. I like how they talk, like, especially with the business. What is your vision board and your action items, you know? And you know, honestly, I'm sure that stuff is great. I always found it, I don't want to say silly in a way. I don't know. I just don't vibe with that way of being in a sense of like, I don't feel like, I'm not into a vision board. Like my vision is to be left the hell alone and just enjoy my day. I'm not looking for any trouble. It's not funny. It's really not funny. You know, it's like you're going through this all the time. Like, easy. I don't need it. All right. Thank you.
Heyo.
Yeah, so maybe I do need a vision board. Oh my gosh. But no, that's what I'm talking about here is like, don't you find it interesting? I mean, I'd like to know your thoughts. I mean, that's the point of these talks that I do, just to kind of get you to think of things. I mean, think about how you think of an idea. Maybe it sounds like people say, well, of course, I know what you're talking about. If you're going to go be, electrician, you got to go train, learn how to do it. And then you get a job, you're an apprentice, and then you move forward and you work for a company. Maybe you own your own business. Maybe you get a union job, whatever the case may be. I understand that most people probably don't expect, but what I find so interesting is just the idea, when I think of things like, and I'm speaking, I guess, again, as I always say, my perspective, because, how else can I speak? But I think of these and I see so much. I'm like, oh, I see all this. Like, I can do this and I can do that. And I want to do this and I want to do that. And, you got to hone it in sometimes a little bit because there's only there's only so much that can play out in the physical. I mean, just imagine like all the grand things you think about doing with your life or whatever. Like how many years it takes just to get to the point of, you got through school and you got a house and then you're working and you have some kids and, the kids grow up and, you're building this legacy or, you're building your retirement, and then like, by the time you get to certain spaces in your life as you're 50, 60, 70, and it took all those years for the thought you had back when you were 20 to come to the space. And, you might not even have known where you were going to be, obviously, when you were that age, but I don't know. I find it interesting. Let me go to my phone real quick because I did make, I just want to make sure I covered what I wanted to talk about with this because I did have a couple points that I put in there about this because I do want to always make sure I try to stick to some sort of thing. But I did say, I did talk about how long it takes time. It takes time for the ideas to manifest. You think the ideas, but, they got to manifest. And, and that's what I thought too. Every thought and moment builds on themselves. I put, life is always a work in progress, which is true too, because, if you think about it, we're always tweaking our physical manifestation in a way, right? Like you might have an idea of like, you want to start, again, going back to the business, you're going to start a business. So you have the idea, I'm going to start this business. This is what it's going to be. And then as you start to take the steps and things start to come to fruition partially, you might take some steps and change things, in different ways, right? You might say, oh, I realize, that this aspect of what I was thinking wasn't working. So, you make some changes. And then of course the manifestation is still coming to creation, but now it's adjusted, right? So it's always like a work in progress. So I find that pretty interesting too, because like, how many times have we had thoughts or ideas of what we wanted to do and, they don't turn out or, things just change or whatever happens in our lives that make us think a different way. We go down a different path. I know, how funny is it, right? I remember back when I was in high school and I was junior year of high school. And I remember thinking during junior year, I'm done with this. I'm done with high school. I don't need this anymore. I've gotten all I can get out of this institutionalized nonsense. And I said to myself, by the time I'm, what was I in junior? I was just like 16, and I'm thinking by the time I'm 22, I should be, because I was into acting and that kind of thing when I was younger, worked in some of those type of areas. And I said, by the time I'm 22, I'll be acting. By the time I'm 24, I should be, married and I'll have kids. And I was thinking all this kind of stuff. And like, nothing, but the ironic part is after I got out of high school and, went on my rampage of like, my party years, I don't even know if I remember what the hell was going on from 22, 24. I might have taken me till about 28 till I re-engaged. Oh, man.
Heyo.
So, but seriously, that's really the concept of today of like, and I'm saying this, I know it's so abstract, but I'm saying it from the point of view of, and again, it kind of piggybacks off of what I was talking about yesterday with the dreams and such, and how much is reality, how much is dream. When you think about when you dream, it doesn't seem like any time, and you're just here, there, and everywhere, and all these things are happening, and they feel so real. And then the opposite here, of being in this human 3D form, going through your everyday, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, blink by blink. It's da 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 da, and it's just like this methodical, slow kind of process of creation. And think about, I guess the biggest concept of what I'm saying here today and is just think about how much you can think, like how many thoughts you can have, and like how many ideas you can create, and like how fast you could do a lifetime in a thought, right? In a sense, like in a moment, you could think of and everything you like, in a moment. Because the truth is, there is only one moment, and you are encapsulating all that in that moment, but once you have all these thoughts up here and you kind of hone them in and funnel them down into your actual physical focus, that aspect takes so much longer, right, to get through until something comes to be. And you never know what you're thinking of and what you think you're going to do, all those plans and how they actually might not be the right path for your soul anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. My poor cat is sitting here under here, and I kicked him. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't know you were right there. Yeah, you might be choosing. That's another thing too. I mean, think about how deep the rabbit hole can go on this with thoughts. You might be thinking you're choosing your dream job. We're back to that. This is what I want. This is my dream job, and you keep working towards it, and life kind of throws you this curveball that takes you on a whole another way, and you wind up in a whole different profession than you thought. You feel more fulfilled than you realized you could, and you actually realize you feel more fulfilled than you would have felt perhaps with what you thought you wanted. So, that's the interesting part. That's why I say all the time, and what this channel is really about, it's just always taking the time to keep space, to observe what's going on, not to attach to what should be, not attached to the ideas of right and wrong, good and bad. It's really just all about, flowing the best you can. That's why I say, we flow with the quo over here because that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to flow with the quo, and get through our days. But anyway, it's I think it's an interesting concept personally. I would, if you're, if it resonates with you, maybe reflect on it a bit, and just kind of be with your thoughts sometimes and think about how much you could think and all the ideas, and then what does it take for those ideas? Because really we have so many ideas, and not every one is going to be like like for example, would it be neat for me to learn to be a pilot or something? Like, be able to fly my own little plane or a helicopter one day? Yeah, you know what? I'd be cool. I like to fly a plane. But truthfully, I mean, just knowing me and my life, I mean, maybe if all of a sudden something happened and, I guess if I really, really wanted it, I would dream it, right? But ultimately, I'm probably not going to fly a plane, So I'm just trying to say, it's so many levels and the dynamics of it all. So, just find your center, find the things that, really resonate with you realistically, of your path and what you're doing, feel the abundance of the things that bring you joy in your life, and those things will come to be in your life. It might take a little time because so slow go the humans, right? So slow the humans go. That's what I said. I never can remember my titles. I type them and then I can't see it while I'm doing this, so I forget. But anyway, it just seems that way. The physical is such a brief moment, and just think about everything you're creating, because you are creating. Everything in your life is your creation, one way or another, believe it or not, even the bad stuff. So, focus, find out why, think about what you're thinking. You have to get in touch with your subconscious. It's a lot of work, people. It's not easy, this human journey. But anyway, just know that you are powerful. You are a creator. You are a manifester. You can have whatever you want in your life. Just feel it in your heart. The thoughts are there. And then we have to take that thought, plant it into our soul and germinate it out into the universe and create the beautiful world that we want to live in. And that's what we're doing here on Operation Status Quo. So I want to thank you so much for your time to be with me here today on Operation Status Quo. Please, if it so behooves you, I've been saying for the last couple days, but if it does, please like, subscribe, share, send this out to your family, your friends, those you love, those you despise as well. You guys are great. Please let me know your thoughts. Send me messages. My contact information's in the description box below. I'm happy to have you on if you want to be a guest. I'm happy to share your thoughts or ideas if you want to share them, or give me topics you'd like for me to talk about. It's all good, because that's what we do here in the Operation Status Quo neighborhood. All right. So that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. God bless each and every one of you. I love you individually as well as a group. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo disengaged.